Yeah, what's poppin'? Shit, homie, Boo Bang, man. Back with another motherfucking Boo Bang theory. Yeah, it's March the 4th, 2023, man. And we still talking about this thing we call image and our addiction to it, right? And so, I know this was gonna be taking a minute to get through the way I kind of set it up, you know what I'm saying, and the way I kind of stretched everything out. It's cool though. I needed a little time to, talk about some other things besides, you know, what's going on in our everyday life right now. And so, I had to take this detour and thought this would be a important subject to talk about, right? Anyway, niggas still feeling the good energy, man, been coming in from that 3-3 portal from yesterday. Actually, the energy been coming in, all week, way before yesterday. But that portal opened up yesterday, March 3rd, and so we got a lot of new energy, man. New intense energy. It done came in, kind of giving us upgrades and shit and downloads. Anyway, though, let's get back to this thing we call image, right? So I know I might have misspoken in the last session and said it was session 19, and I put on the title session 20, but it was session 20, even though it was broke up in short videos. I'm just doing every video as a session. Whenever, whatever it stops, it's a session. So this is session 21. And so now that we talked about, got a little bit about an idea about, growing up from the baby to adolescence through teenage life and shit, and what may have kind of transpired in that stage of our life, and what could actually be something that contributed to who we are today, right? And so when we go back and look at it and shit, and understand the things that we went through as adolescent through the teenage years and middle school and high school, we start to build our character and our persona or who we are, and start to also develop this identity, our image, or later on will or could some people would say is, or what I want to say, dang, I just had the motherfucking word, uh, 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 dang. I'll get back to that. Okay, so anyway, when we talking about image, right? Image starts with uh, our outer appearance. And, even if we don't think so, or that ain't what we base our image on, and we shouldn't. Although that is one aspect of our image, right? That's the outer appearance. That's what everybody see. That's the image. That's the what people see, actually see, visualize, right? And so our outer appearance begins with like our ethnic, what I'm saying, our ethnicity, our our race, who we are, right? That's what everybody see first, as far as our image. And so out of the seven continents, you know, the basic main, ethnicities with the broader span of all of them are African descent, Asian descent, European descent, Spanish or Hispanic descent, and like Native American descent, right? And of course, like I said, it's a lot of different races and descents, nationalities out of those main nationalities, out of those continents. And so we all based off of these, images or, nationalities. So these are the colors or races that we all are identified by. And so that's the first thing that the world sees us as, like for me, I'm African. I'm an African American, right? That's the first thing they see when they see me. Or I'm a black man, right? And for me, the word black and all and not only that, all the other colors also out of the Crayola box that they put on human beings. I don't particularly agree with doing labeling people those putting colors on people, right? Because we all people of color, you know what I'm saying? And so I'd rather be called a person of color, I think, than being called black. And it is what it is. Either way, it's not gonna hurt me. It's not gonna, you know, uh, make me feel less than who I know I am, right? So anyway, so when we dealing with these ethnic groups, you know what I'm saying, we all identify with these ethnic groups or these races. Those are the first thing to identify our image. And so, other than the those, and then you got to think about that, the color thing with the black, the white, uh, the red, the brown, and the yellow. You know what I'm saying? Africans black, Asians yellow, Europeans white, Spanish or Hispanics brown, and Native Americans red. And so that's something to think about too. The separation right there, that they kind of put in there. It's because when it's all said and done, and you look at all those different nationalities, everybody got some particular color or some kind of color tint in their skin, right? There's no solid black, yellow, red, brown, or white. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, so we going through those ethnic groups, and we all can identify with that. That's the first thing that people see us from. Then also, the first thing people see are our eyes, the color of our eyes, right? The color of our eyes, our hair color, the color and the texture of our hair, our body shapes, you know what I'm saying? How our body figure or our physical body and appearance looks. And so those are the first things you think about when image, when you talk about image, right? Those are the first things that you identify with. Our race, ethnicity, color of our eyes, the color of our skin, our hair color, hair texture, and our body shape, right? And so there's where trouble start to kick in with a person, us as individuals, right? So when we get to a certain age, to where like middle school, to where we in or even grade, elementary school, because like I said, kids can be mean, right? So once you identify those characteristics on your person, and you shown that, and you can see it in the mirror, and you know who you look like, you know what you look like, and you are able to identify some certain things that you might not like about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has something they maybe not liked about themselves. You know what I'm saying? Or wanted it to be a little more better, or it could have been better, or I wish I had this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I was short when I was younger. Because I think the younger dudes got all the girls or some shit like that. I used to think. So I wanted to be shorter. I remember wanting to be bow-legged. I remember actually trying to walk bow-legged a lot of times when I was younger, around girls, trying to act like I was bow-legged and shit. And so certain things like that, you know what I'm saying, we start to identify like what parts of our body we don't like, what parts of our face we don't really like or don't look funny to us. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I noticed at a young age that I had a funny shaped head. You know what I'm saying? And I was skinny. I was skinny and I had a funny shaped head. And so Those are two things that I was like, dang, this motherfucking head, you know what I'm saying? And so I got cracked on in school, in middle school and shit. Motherfuckers used to call me Moonhead and shit like that, man. And you know, in the beginning, it was embarrassing and hurtful, and at first, until I got used to it and kind of started being a little bit more open to where I could crack jokes back as with certain people. Like I said, I was shy at back then, so those things hurt young people when and so when people go through those type of things, and a lot of teenagers do, when they identify certain things that they don't like, or they might not even notice that might look funny to them, you know what I'm saying, at first, until one of the other kids pointed it out and started to talk about it or to make fun of them about it. And so now they go home and start to, looking at the particular thing that was pointed out and said, dang, that do look funny. I'm funny looking, you know what I'm saying? And so that's where you get the bullying from, everybody know about the bullying shit, And the bullying come in right there, and then that's where the kids start to be self-aware and start to understand that they look different from somebody else. They look different from everybody else. Everybody got different characteristics, and and some of them you might not like. And so, that's the things we start identifying with, especially when it comes to like height and the shapes of our body. Those are some of the biggest things the kids have issues with, as far as when it comes to, not liking or being teased about, you know what I'm saying? And so these things start to build our image, you know what I'm saying? When you getting teased in school, the little skinny kid, you know what I'm saying? Or, you been identified as the fat boy, you know what I'm saying? Or the fat girl. You've been identified as the yellow, the light skinned girl, or the light bright girl, or the dark skinned girl, or the black girl, or So, all these things start to take effect of us at that age, and as we grow on in life, those things stick, you know what I'm saying? And for a fragile mind at a still an early stage in life trying to develop, those things tend to kind of traumatize us. You understand? Or stick with us, and that hurt tend to stay in there. And most people, we try to tend to block it out or push it down, and avoid avoid the pain of it or the emotional part of it, the sadness or whatever we may have felt at that particular time, or and whatever happened to us. And so as we develop, like I said, we begin to notice these traits, notice these looks, and notice things about us that we don't like and shit like that. And so we start to identify also too with our race and ethnicity. We start to learn about that. So we already have these things from our ethnicity and our race, our heritage, our history, our culture already that follows us, right? And so we start to learn about that and identify with that, right? So we start to identify with our culture and who we are in that aspect, right? Learning about the ways of our tribal lives and how our ancestors lived and shit like that. If we on that journey of trying to find out who we are. And most of us as teenagers not on that path for real. We can identify that we black, white, Hispanic, or whatever the case, Chinese or whatever not. And so, and we identify with that. We identify that we are male or female. We identify that we got black, whatever color our hair, eyes is, and our skin tone. And so then in our body shape. And so as we going through school, we learning these different things, and then so now we see other people that might look different and have some particular look that we might like, and so we start to admire that in another person, wishing we might have had that particular body part, that particular look that they got, or that particular hairstyle. And so we start to kind of copy or take from other people. I like the way they dress. And so at a early age, we don't even know who we are, so we start to grab in different looks and different types of ideals and different ways we want to look and shit from other people around us. You know what I'm saying? And so this image that we start to create is not really our own because we don't even know who we are. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even dug in yet. We were so young, you know, and with the way everything hit us from the outside at an early age, you know, we, you know, become vulnerable and more susceptible of all the outside influences, you know, and so taking on all these outside influences and not being able to have that time directly to ourselves to you know, figure out who we are outside of small things like favorite colors, the type of food that we like to eat, you know what I'm saying, the type of music we may like, you know, the different movies and